Big story tonight is the confusion over ISIS links to terror suspects shot at and arrested in UP and MP since yesterday for a low-intensity blast on a train. Today, the UP police said that the 6 men, one of whom was shot dead overnight, had no aid, no financial help from ISIS and were self-radicalized. 5 men are under arrest. However, this contradicts what the NIA and the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister have said in the last 24 hours. The UP police killed one of the terror suspects, Saifullah, in Lucknow at 3 a.m. after a gun battle that lasted for 12 hours. Alok Pandey joining us for more on that story. First from Lucknow. Alok, we were listening to the UP police there just a little while earlier. Now, yesterday, they were suggesting that these were there was an ISIS link, that these young men were ISIS inspired. Today, they are saying there's no proof of any affiliation with the ISIS. They were completely self-radicalized. What more can you tell us, Alok?
Well, yes, absolutely, Nidhi. Before I came in for this live, I was meeting with the top officer here in the Uttar Pradesh police, and he was saying that at the moment, I have no official confirmation of any direct links to the ISIS. I asked him why they were not saying this yesterday. He said yesterday we were in a fluid situation where an operation was ongoing, intelligence was coming in, and that's why we were giving out information as it was coming in. But till today evening, he said that the Uttar Pradesh police does not have any direct information of any direct links to the ISIS. They said that the Uttar Pradesh police in its presser said that this is a self-radicalized group. This is a group that is self-financed. We asked the ADG Law and Order how they were financing. They said they were using properties, selling them off, something of that sort. These were students or small-time businessmen who are arrested or who have been killed. So perhaps there is more explanation that the Uttar Pradesh police needs to do, but at the moment they are saying that we don't have any direct proof of this. Also, one officer pointed out that a team of the Uttar Pradesh police is now in Bhopal and they will be jointly interrogating the 3 people arrested there. And if any links do emerge at that time, then perhaps they will come back with an abridged version of what they have said, or a different version, I'm sorry, of what they have said right now. But at the moment, the UP police very clear that we haven't found any direct ISIS links to these 6 people.
It does contradict, though, what we're hearing from the National Investigation Agency, where top officials there are saying that no, the man who was sort of the mastermind or the leader of this gang, as it were, that he was in touch with a handler abroad and has links to ISIS. The Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister has gone on record to talk about these ISIS links. What does the UP police say about this contradiction?
Well, the UP police says, Nidhi, that at the moment they have not managed to interrogate those 3 people who are in the Madhya Pradesh police's net. Though they are from Uttar Pradesh, but they were arrested by the MP police, and this is the on-record explanation that they are giving, that our team has just reached there. They will be interrogating those people. They say that our preliminary information from the intelligence that we got does not suggest this, and they are willing to go on record with that right now. We heard Mr. Daljit Chaudhary, the ADG Law and Order, talk about this extensively and vehemently, saying that we don't believe that there are any direct ISIS links now. But the officer I was just meeting also said that if at a later stage something else comes out that convinces us that yes, there is a direct link, we have no issues in changing or at least coming back with more details. But at the moment, he said, we don't have any proof.
All right, Alok, thanks a lot for that update. And let's just play out for our viewers the sequence of events of what has happened in the last 24 hours, that dramatic encounter that took place for several hours in a Lucknow neighborhood that started at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon and then went on till 3 this morning and has now ended in somewhat of confusion about what exactly the motives and links of these men actually are. Let's take a look.
The final chapter in a 12-hour-long drama at this house on the outskirts of Lucknow. Initially, the police tried to catch terror-accused Saifullah in his early 20s alive. He fired 65 shots, the UP police about 30. The encounter ended with his death.
उसने अपने आप को घर के अंदर बंद कर दिया और शहादत की बात करने लगा। काफी समय उसको दिया गया सरेंडर करने का, परंतु वो किसी बात को नहीं माना।
What is important is what investigators are saying off the record, and that is, this is the first ISIS attack in India. A plot which has seen a train blast in Ujjain, an encounter, and 5 arrests across UP and MP. 3 of Saifullah's alleged associates were arrested by the Madhya Pradesh police soon after the Tuesday morning train blast. They reportedly assembled the low-intensity bomb at this house. Explosives, 8 pistols, over 600 cartridges, 45 grams of gold, passports, over 1.5 lakh rupees in cash, and a railway timetable was found. And even this 2-page daily schedule written in fluent English. And all this, UP police sources say, was actually target practice for a bigger attack. This, the Sufi shrine at Deva Sharif, a couple of hours from Lucknow, was a possible target, and security has been increased now. However, on record, the UP police say they have no information of any specific targets.
ये सेल्फ रेडिकलाइज्ड लो इंटेंसिटी बॉम्ब्स लगाने का भी प्रयास किया, लेकिन किसी में ये सफल नहीं हो पाए। अंतोगत्वा जो मध्य प्रदेश में जो घटना हुई है, और उसके बाद से पुलिस एक्टिवेट हुई और उसके बाद ये ऑपरेशन हुआ। उनके इरादे अच्छे नहीं थे, लेकिन वो इस इरादों को एग्जीक्यूट नहीं कर पाए, उनसे पहले ही पूरा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन उनका ध्वस्त हो गया।
A team of the Uttar Pradesh police is also in Bhopal now, where they will jointly interrogate the 3 suspects who have been arrested by the Madhya Pradesh police. More details are expected to emerge in the next few days on just what this group was planning. In Lucknow with camera person Ramesh Verma, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Well, lots to talk about tonight. Joining us on the program this evening, Ajay Shukla is back with us here in the studio. Of course, well-known defence analyst. We have Praveen Swami, the strategic affairs editor of the Indian Express. Mr. Vikram Singh, the former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, is with us. Nalin Kohli of the BJP and Jaiveer Shergill of the Congress party. Mr. Vikram Singh, sir, to you first. What do you make of these developments, sir, in the last 24 hours? Is it worrying you just a little bit that we are hearing different voices from authorities today on whether there is an ISIS link or not?
Nidhi, this is a wake-up call indeed to your first point. The second point is that when you make a premature disclosure, such discrepancies and such contradictions do emerge, but I would not place too much of credence to that. A detailed white paper will be issued only after an elaborate investigation has progressed. All the pieces of the jigsaw puzzles have been put together, and then you have a white paper for consumption so that everybody is clear. Who are these boys? Where were they? How were they indoctrinated? How were they radicalized? Where did they get the pistols, SIM cards, and the various maps, etc., and the purpose and the roadmap that they had for their future? I would not place too much of reliance on
when you're saying that
between MP police and the UP police.
No, but sir, when you're saying that prematurely information was given out, are you saying that the UP police should have held back yesterday because they were briefing the media and speaking to the media quite regularly about this? Should they have waited?
I would presume so. You see any professional briefing, and I would say that in the heat of the moment, just to perhaps keep everything at bay and to keep all controversy at rest. It was done in good faith, but obviously the disclosure was, I would say, a little premature.
Praveen Swami, you had an extensive story on this particular case this morning in the Indian Express. Praveen, what's your take on this and this sort of confusion and these conflicting signals?
Well, the first thing is I suspect people are talking about quite different kinds of things. Are they talking about when they say that there is no link to ISIS? Are they saying that there is no link to ISIS's central authority in Raqqa? Or are they saying that there is no link to ISIS on the net or to an ISIS motivator? It's not very clear from these statements exactly what is being meant. The second issue is I'm not very sure on what basis people are making the statements they're making, because it's not as if the computers these individuals were using, their phones and so on and so forth, have as yet been studied. And it's hard not to feel that there is a little bit of political embarrassment and push and shove going on behind the scenes, given that the case is headed towards the headed to the National Investigations Agency, which handled some of the earlier cases linked to these modules. I suspect it's best to wait and watch on this. I actually think the UP police did a good job of being transparent on what was happening with the firefight yesterday. Perhaps you can fault them for saying a little bit too much or a little bit too little. But I don't think there's, given that there's a giant ISIS flag and that the person was threatening to martyr himself for ISIS, I don't think a reasonable person is going to dispute that this individual had something to do with the Islamic State. And I think, we can nitpick about the degree of that involvement and exactly what the UP police should have said or shouldn't have said, but I think you can push the nitpicking too far as well.
Okay, that's an important point, and Ajay, I just want to come to you on that. Do you agree with Praveen that this is nitpicking, that if there's a difference between them actually getting money, finances, weapons from ISIS per se as a group and from its headquarters, and being inspired by ISIS and radicalized by it through social media? Does it make a difference at the end of the day?
No, these issues. Here I agree with Praveen. I think that these are important issues that will emerge as the investigation moves forward and as the agencies start talking to one another. But I don't agree with him when he says that this is just nitpicking about whether they revealed too much or did they speak prematurely or not. Everything that the UP police has said, and starting from the ADG Daljit Chaudhary yesterday to his very filmy press conference today, everything that has been said will be used as part of the defense to counter what the police narrative will be. So you don't reveal too much ever. You don't go out there as part of an operation when the operation has barely begun, as it was the case yesterday, and start revealing details about where these people are from, who they are from, which group they are affiliated from. What's the need? Why doesn't just a simple two-line statement be made? And we've discussed this again and again, all the way dating back to the Mumbai strikes. Why doesn't the government just, or the police force, or the leading security agency just issue a two-word statement saying, or a two-sentence statement saying that this is the case and more will be revealed as it comes in? So this is not a question of nitpicking. This is a question of undermining your own defense case.
Undermining your own defense case.
Very strongly. Just quickly come back to that for 1 second.
Yeah.
The problem with that, I mean, and the point is well taken, but the problem with that is when police forces have been quiet, when they have not said anything. We all remember Batla House in 2008 when the police didn't say anything, and particularly on the eve of an election you'd have had all kinds of conspiracy theory floating around as well. And I think the UP police had a tough call to make. Did they do a luminous job of it? No, they didn't. That's very far from my case. But I think as a rule in this country, we come from a tradition where the default response is to say nothing about anything. And I think yesterday, yes, some probably excessive and perhaps inaccurate things were said. But as a rule, I think if it's better to err on the side of transparency, and I don't think any catastrophic damage was done yesterday by erring on the side of transparency.
You know, the other thing that was
yes.
But you know, the other thing that was worrying, and let me get Nalin and Javeer into this as well. Nalin, the other thing that was worrying yesterday was, and Ajay was here when this happened yesterday, is that yesterday the UP police was saying that, you know, these are like these, you know, misguided youth that have been influenced by social media. And Ajay was getting the sense yesterday that in a sense they were playing down the severity of this threat. And today, they are saying again, no ISIS affiliation, self-radicalized, but it's clear that these are bad guys who had weapons, who were, going out there to carry out a terror strike as per the police. And therefore, I think what should worry us is when our law enforcement agencies, whether it is the police, are speaking in different voices, on the same case, whether it is the police in a span of 24 hours, or whether it is the UP police on one hand and the NIA on the other. Nalin.
Well, actually, I'm amused. And I'm amused because, as an advocate, I find nothing in the evidence has changed. There were 600 rounds there, 8 weapons there, cash is there, gold is there. The person didn't surrender. He decided to fight. He fired more rounds than the police fired. Eventually, he was eliminated. He's a terrorist, period. I mean, even a fool would see through that. Now, whether he wore a blue shirt or a white shirt or a green shirt or a pink shirt doesn't make a difference. And secondly is every article that I've read of, those who write, and Praveen is one of those eminent people who does write regularly. I mean, you see that the global modules end up linking up with each other. I mean, you one day write about LET, the other day JUD, third day you say somebody has landed in ISIS, somebody with Al-Qaeda. Does it matter? The terrorist is a terrorist. How does
ISIS
this change
does
the
matter,
defense
Nalin.
case in any manner or the prosecution case? I don't
ISIS
know.
does matter.
I mean,
ISIS
it
makes
doesn't.
a difference.
Just a moment,
It
I'll
does.
tell you why.
It's the most dangerous terrorist organization in the world right now. It should
no,
matter.
It doesn't. Yes. No, I'm sorry, ma'am. As far as I'm concerned, there is no terrorist organization that's less dangerous which kills another innocent Indian or an Indian or any innocent human being. I don't think so. It just, you know, they are now because of the violence you see out of them. But does that make Hafiz Saeed any better? Certainly not. Or an Azhar
Nobody is
Masood?
saying
No.
that, Nalin.
They are terrorists of
Nobody
the
is
same
saying
ilk,
that, but
willing
the
to kill
ISIS
another
threat
Indian.
takes it to another
So therefore,
level.
let me finish my point. We are losing the main point.
Yeah.
Let me. But again, on the other hand, Nidhi, should we not be prepared with 21 youth out of Kerala? Should we not be worried about others going out to the ISIS?
Absolutely.
So can it
That's
not
what
happen
I'm
out of
asking you.
Uttar Pradesh? Can it not happen anyway? So I mean, yes. So therefore, I'm saying fundamentally from a prosecution case in court, it doesn't matter whether it's ISIS or LET, a terrorist who has weapons, does not have it, is firing, is killed in the encounter, has fired more rounds.
Okay,
When there will be the other attacks that will
wants to
come
come
in
in
the
on what you
investigation.
said.
So the
Javeed is
first
a
thing we
lawyer as
should
well,
do-
like you, Nalin.
First thing, one sentence.
Yeah.
Just one sentence. The first thing we should do is compliment those police officers for at least eliminating someone who could have been killed more Indian citizens. Period. And then we can get into the debate anywhere else we want.
No, I think we cannot look at this incident from the prism of legality, how well this case will hold up in court, whether he's ISIS or was. The reality is India cannot risk to remain in confusion about growing ISIS influence and penetration. September 30th, 2015, as per media, raw report is there that ISIS is focusing on India, they will do an attack, and that thing is coming true today in Lucknow. Now, Nidhi, you made a very valid point, whether it's internet or you're making direct route, it doesn't matter. ISIS operates something called through psychology of the internet in chosen few of the different lands. ISIS influences youth through the internet, and today I'm saying the youth has downloaded something from the website regarding a making of a bomb or something. Now, the alarming part is that the government or the police or the state agencies are always dismissive about ISIS presence in India, and that is a worrying situation. Whether it's ISIS flags in Jammu and Kashmir, whether it's recruitment, whether it's 21 Kerala youth, whether it's a 30-year-old Afsa Jabin who was arrested in Dubai and deported from recruiting from India. We have to wake up to the reality. ISIS is influencing the youth through internet and local recruits. Now, 30th September, I don't want to politicize it, 30th September 2014, Mr. Modi said there is no concept of called homegrown terror in our nation. He said that, and was quite dismissive about it. But today, there is a fact that ISIS is targeting certain gullible youth who can be brainwashed and take such extreme steps. And the issue in hand is not to find loopholes whether ISIS is better. We live in a shadow of terror. This particular ISIS module has a base in Vilayat, Khorasan. They are targeting India through Afghanistan. The point is they have 35,000 square kilometers of territory.
You're saying it needs to be taken much more seriously.